Is this going on the news?
It's not going on the news. Don't worry about that.
It's going on the
Put on the Gateway's Instagram. So Zachary, make sure I do it. Okay, yeah, we're gonna go one at a time.
Who do you look up to?
Who do I look up to? Can I have the mic? Thank you. What a good question. I look up to a lot of the Gateway's alumni, actually. So alumni means someone who worked here before. So, for example, we've had a few people who have gone on to work for real newspapers. So Adam Lahatch, who worked here a couple years ago, is now working at CTV News, which is super cool. So he's someone I look up to. Alrighty.
Hello.
Hello.
How many years have you been here?
That's a great question. I have been here for 3 years in total. I started as a volunteer for 1 year, and then I was opinion editor for 1 year, and now I'm the editor-in-chief for 1 year. So it's been 3 years.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Why did you choose to edit?
Why did I choose to edit? What a good question. Thank you so much. I have always liked editing. When I was in high school and I had to start writing like essays and papers, I would always help out my friends. They would always ask for me to read their essay. And so I would do a lot of editing for them in high school, and I really liked it. So I decided to go and do it professionally and get paid for it, which is super awesome. Thanks for that question.
What do you like about the U of A and how hard was it to get in?
Amazing. Thank you so much. I like the U of A because it's close to home. I actually bike to campus every day. My parents live really close by, so that's a great thing. It's also a really good school, Canada-wide. It's consistently like a top 5 university, so it's a pretty good place to go. It was not too hard to get in, especially for, I'm in the Faculty of Arts. It's not too competitive of a program, but I did have pretty good grades in high school.
Okay.
Thanks so much.
What do you like the most about your job?
That's a great question. Thank you so much. I think I would probably like the connections that I've formed and the friendships that I've made. A lot of staff members at the Gateway go on to be really good friends. All of our volunteers are super cool and awesome people. So I've made some really good relationships and people that I think I would consider lifelong friends. So that's probably my favorite.
What was the biggest challenge at the University of Alberta?
Oh, good question. I would probably have to say midterms and final exams. So when you're at the U of A, most of the time you're starting off taking 5 classes a semester, and you've got everyone talks about midterm season, and that's kind of when all of your exams start to pile up all at the same time. And so that kind of starts in October. A lot of my staff members right now are really stressed out about writing all of their exams. And so oftentimes, you've got 5 things that you have to study for all at once, so that can be very stressful, but you get the hang of it eventually.
What were you studying before newspaper work?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So the U of A doesn't actually have a journalism school, so I'm a political science student, and history is my minor. So I really liked social studies in high school, so that was kind of the natural thing for me to go into. And yeah, I'll be finishing with a political science degree. Yeah, thank you so much.
Do you have any interests outside of university?
That's an awesome question. I love that question. I actually do. I would consider gardening one of my big hobbies. So during the pandemic, I got really into growing vegetables. And so I've got a nice vegetable garden at home. My proudest thing this year was I grew a pumpkin, and the pumpkin ended up about that big. So I was pretty proud of that. So that's probably my hobby.
What is your favorite article that you ever made?
I love that question. Such a good question. That's really tricky. It's hard to choose. For the longest time, my favorite article was one that I wrote as a volunteer that was about Edmonton's waste management system. So when the city of Edmonton started composting and bringing all of those green bins, I know you probably have a green bin at home. When they brought those in, I wrote an opinion article about it. And that was one that I was really proud of, and I worked really hard on it.
Why did you pick the University of Alberta?
That's a very good question. I would say they have a pretty good political science program, and I knew that was what I wanted to do. I wanted to stay in Edmonton. That was a big one. I didn't feel ready to move away from home for my parents. And so, yeah, U of A was close to home. And like I said, it's a pretty good university. It's usually like a top 5 in Canada. And yeah, I love living with my parents, so I'm going to stay with them as long as I can.
Um, why did you choose to do journaling?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, why did I choose to do journalism? I would say that, I really liked editing, like I mentioned to someone in high school, but I also really like writing. And it's really cool to have your work published. So that means, you can find what I wrote on our website or in our physical newspaper. And that feels really good to know that, there's someone out there who cares what I have to say and is going to read what I have to write. And I guess the other thing is, I really like doing interviews like this. I really like just talking to people and hearing their stories. And so, yeah, that's a really good question. I would say those are all my favorite things about it.